My name is Al Ormsby from Saratoga Springs. Chris, could you go back to the last one with the expenditures and the taxes? The last graph?
Yeah, go back to the pie chart.
No, not the pie one, the one before that. Yes, that's it. If you take a look at that graph, you'll see it was about the 1980s that we started to have these huge budget deficits. And one of the reasons was, and I'm not arguing whether this was good or bad, but we did have a huge peacetime military buildup. And at the same time that we had this huge peacetime military buildup, we had tax rates lowered. Taxes were cut, particularly in the upper income brackets. And now if you go to that, right after that, you see the blue coming up where we had a surplus. That was basically following the tax increase in 1993 when Clinton first came in, which ultimately led to a surplus. Not the red, but it led to actual surplus. And then Mr. Bush comes in with that huge surplus, gets us involved in 2 wars, and what does he do after we're involved in 2 wars? Once again, he cuts taxes. Now it seems to me, if the American people are responsible for those wars, they are responsible for the decisions of their leaders, they are responsible for the military buildup of the 1980s, they're also responsible to pay for it. And that's every single American, not just targeted elderly people who are getting Medicare, all Americans. So the idea, this is a fight, to say that the 2 opposing themes here are raising taxes versus cutting spending. And most of the spending cuts seem to target specific groups that are the most vulnerable. But raising taxes means that everybody pays into the military buildup, to support that military buildup, and to support the wars that their leaders took them to. They're responsible to pay for that. And it's not fair that should be fostered onto the elderly by really cutting back the Medicare program, really reducing its size and reducing the amount of money it pays for the medical benefits for seniors.
A couple points on this. The first of it is that, once again, I think the issue we're having right now is this level of spending. This level of spending is something we can't sustain. We're going to have to pull that spending back.
Where did it come from?
Look, I will tell you that. Let me give you one example. Somebody just mentioned where did it come from. I'll just give you one example. The Environmental Protection Agency, that budget went up from 2008. It went up 131%. That's a fact.
From the giveaways to the pharmaceutical industry?
The question that was laid on the table had to do with spending. And I will tell you that this level of spending here, we cannot continue. And we're going to have to roll that back.
But if you get involved in wars like we did in World War II, you have a tremendous debt and tremendous spending. If you take us into 2 wars like we did during the first decade of this century, you have tremendous spending. It was a decision to do that. We are responsible, all Americans are responsible for paying for that, not a targeted group where they're going to get major cutbacks in their health care. To say that they have to pay for it, rather than the entire American people have to pay for it, that's my problem.
Nice to see you again.